Welcome to PWS United, a podcast for the Prader-Willi syndrome community, brought to you by PWSA USA. This podcast gives the latest news in research, advocacy, and family support by bringing together staff, volunteers, PWS treatment specialists, biotech and pharmaceutical representatives, caregivers, family members, and individuals with PWS. Our goal is to share education, awareness, and resources with those living with PWS and their supporters. Join us in our mission to enhance the quality of life and empower those affected by Prader-Willi syndrome. So before we get into our actual Pulse content today, we thought it would be fun to bring on two new members of our PWSA USA family for everyone to get to know them and get the full introduction from them personally. So we are so excited to welcome Katie Martinez and Pia Dorson to today's episode. And Katie, we'd love to start with you. If you can introduce yourself, tell us your connection to Prader-Willi syndrome and what you're going to be doing at PWSA USA.
Hello, I'm Katie Martinez. I have a 7-year-old, Samuel, with PWS, and my husband and I, and Samuel, and this little baby that you might hear, we are in Baton Rouge.
Okay, so you've been doing this a little while. How old was he when he got diagnosed?
He was about 2 weeks old.
Okay. Had you heard of Prader-Willi syndrome before?
Not at all.
No.
As most people don't.
Nope.
Right.
And they didn't even tell me what they were thinking about. They had the doctors had thrown some ideas around, but they weren't straight to me oh, we're thinking this or we're thinking this. They were just, I could overhear them talking at times. And then I told myself, nope, I'm not going to look up anything until it's for sure one thing or another. I didn't want to stress myself out any more than I already was. So,
when did you learn about PWSA? Was that kind of right in the beginning, or?
Yeah, we were still in the NICU. We stayed in the NICU for 5 weeks, or we had connected with someone probably about 3 or 4 weeks in. I don't know exactly. I remember that Jen Andrews, she was the first person I kind of talked to, just emailing and things. But Diane was the one that called me, and we kind of talked through everything once we got home, and I got the big packet of hope, and just kind of anybody that I was reaching out to through all the Facebook groups that I was told about, and everybody was so responsive to me, and oh, if you need anything, contact this person, everybody is here to support you. And truly, from first learning about it and getting connections with people has been so incredible, because there has been such support for me since the beginning. He had tube surgery whenever he was still in the NICU, and so I'm reaching out to everybody on there, who else has had a G tube? What other kind of feeding tubes do they have? Do I need to talk to a doctor? And then I know there was people there who were we can talk to doctors and medical professionals too, to get them informed with certain things, or just another way to support me, because he's my first baby. So on top of this whole syndrome, also coming into it as a new mom, or I don't know what's happening to begin with, let alone all these other things that I don't know the questions to ask or the things that are going to happen.
Yeah, it's a scary realization, I think, for most of our families and parents when they get that diagnosis. And then similar to you, I think several of them as well are first-time parents, to individuals with PWS. So they are listening and nodding along, Katie. Yeah. So Katie, what is it that you're going to be doing at PWSA?
So I am going to be the fundraising coach for online events. So different things that are happening online that we can put together and help support different, if you're going to work with, say, a school or with a restaurant or with corporation or a business or all those types of things, we can like connect y'all in certain ways and help coach people who want to do peer-to-peer fundraising. And I know whenever I first did a fundraiser, like I didn't know what to do. So to have people who are there to coach you through and actually like give you the steps to do that, that's what part of my role is going to be now too, to help guide people on what it is they can do to get started, let them know about like different types of fundraisers that they even have. Like hopefully I can give some different ideas about things that they haven't thought of before, but might actually be really interesting to them, and just work together to like make their event successful.
That's amazing. I think new people, especially who are doing a fundraiser for the first time, will feel so welcomed and
I hope so.
feel like, yeah, they're in great hands to be able to start that process and see it through, especially because, yeah, you have experience yourself. I know you did a Wear Jeans for Rare Jeans at Sam's school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are amazing to me. Can you explain that one just a little bit, like what goes into it?
So for that one, it was for us very easy. We typically in my area wear uniforms. So
Mhm.
any chance that kids get to like dress in free dress or have any kind of special clothing that they get to wear, they kind of jump on the opportunity. So
Mhm.
that was it's just where you kind of connect with like the principals, the admin, and just introduce this idea of, for that particular thing, wear jeans for Rare Jeans. Like they literally just wear jeans to school and they pay like $1 or $2 or whatever the amount set by the school could be. And then it's pretty hands off, like this for
Yeah.
the person doing it. You just kind of introduce it to the schools and get it started, but like everything is happening at school. So
Right. And
that
people are appreciative because they get to wear jeans and be casual.
yeah. And I was, whenever I was teaching I was able, Samuel was able to come with me to school so he could go to the same school that I was at. And we did one of the days at the school I was at, and just to actually like be in it and be able to like walk into the school and see everybody, because we got them to wear like jeans and an orange shirt too.
Mhm.
So then like you walk in and you see everybody that's like participating in this thing. And it was like so many of my students like came up to me and they're like, Miss Martinez, look, like I'm doing this. And I have like some pictures, I think, in one of the videos. And like I walked out to a classroom and all the kids were outside.
Mhm.
And then I walk up and they just like all are running to me because they know him and they know like who they were doing it for, and then that I'm his mama. So they like all were like, oh, Miss Martinez, did you see this? And like showing me off their clothes. And
Oh.
it was just such a special moment. And whenever someone was in school, whenever he first started school at 3, I wasn't teaching at his school, but whenever I like came in to drop him off in carpool, I was seeing all the kids like come out in their like free dress and clothes. And it was just like, I was just in the carpool line bawling.
In your feels. Yes.
Like people are caring enough to participate in this event that like doesn't take pretty much any amount of effort. It's fun for the kids and they get to learn about something. Like they get to learn about PWS and why they're dressing like this, and to see just the school support your kid. Like you know that they're doing this for your child. Like yeah, they want to do it because it's fun to dress up, but also they're doing it to benefit your child. And it was just so special to be able to see them do that.
Wow. I love that story. And I think that is just one example of so many of how these peer-to-peer fundraising type of events go. And so many people see their, local communities, their families, their friends, strangers, everybody kind of come out in numbers and you just feel that overwhelming sense of support. So I know that you'll be able to help more people get that feeling and that sense of community through this. So we're so excited to have you, Katie. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
So excited to be here too. Since joining PWSA, well, before I even started, and I was able to like participate in some of the fly-ins and get to meet a lot of people in person that I've had this like internet connection with for years, but have never been able to be with them in person. I already fell in love with so many of the parents that I met and staff members. And then so being able to be in this role and like immersed in people who are all like truly there to support one another and help one another is just so special. Like this is probably one of my most fulfilling jobs, like knowing that I'm doing it for my son, but also being in such a collective group of support and knowledge. And pretty much I can ask any question and someone has a connection to that question or can get me a fast connection to someone else to help me with whatever it is that I'm asking. And it's just so nice to be in an environment that is so caring with one another.
I agree. I feel the same way. I'm so glad you feel it too. And yeah, we're just so happy to have you join.
Pia, how old is your child with PWS?
She is 6 years old.
That's kind of where we wanted to start was what is your connection to the PWS community?
Yeah, we have a daughter who is 6 years old named Zara. We were diagnosed when she was 7 weeks old and still in the hospital.
Did you get connected with PWSA right away or did that take a while?
It was pretty early because while we were in the hospital after we got the diagnosis, we found out that we had known another parent who has a child with PWS. So we talked to her on the phone in the hospital, and she kind of gave us a whole a big list of resources and telling us different therapies that we could do. And so it was really helpful. But so we were able to log on to the website while we were still at the hospital. It was really helpful and really comforting, actually.
It's nice to have kind of that at least basis because very few families, I would say, have that. So to have at least kind of a starting point.
Yes, absolutely. Because when we got the diagnosis, and I'm sure everyone pretty much has an awful story, it was, kind of so limiting that they were making Zara's life out to be. And that was, we were shocked, really. And then as soon as we talked to this other parent, we realized that's not what life is. And it's going to be so much better. And she'll be able to have a great life, which might be a little bit different for us as parents and for our other children. But it was so great to have, talk to like a seasoned parent after we had gotten the diagnosis.
Right. That's amazing. I'm so glad that we have the Family Mentor Program, and the first person that usually calls people on our team, at least, is Christy, who gives great insight and helpful information. But to have, your own community too, who already knows how to support or offer guidance and some hope is extra special. So that's amazing. So Pia, we are so excited to have you join our PWSA family. Can you tell us a little bit about what you'll be doing, kind of what your new role entails?
Absolutely. So I will be a fundraising coach, working with other families to raise funds for PWSA. And really, the funds go to such amazing things like advocacy for rare diseases, for PWS, and even to get, more research done. That is huge. And then also the family advocacy program, all things that I think all the parents who have PWS kids have used before. And I really feel like for us, we just need a treatment. And so that is raising funds. Right now, we don't have any government help with the funding, but we're working towards that in advocacy, just working with other parents to kind of guide them through the process. I think sometimes like these things can be so overwhelming, fundraising, but it can be a small thing online for a birthday, or it can be at your own house, say, rather than bringing me a birthday gift, please donate here. There's just so many easy things that we can do that are kind of like low hanging fruit. And then there's more complex events. We're planning one in New York next year. and it's going to be really large, but it doesn't have to be. So it's really seeing what parents want to do, who's in their network, how old is your child, and then kind of feeling out what the best sort of event would be for your community.
And I think just to make the distinction, so you're helping PM more on like the DIY, do it yourself kind of events with people who want to do something in person that requires maybe some thought process and thinking through what do they like to do, what's something that they might envision that they want to host. Whereas Katie, I think, is doing more online based fundraising events. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So things like, a walkathon or a golf fundraiser, a gala, all of those kind of things. Like I would be working with those families.
I love that we're going to have people call us and say, hey, I want to do a fundraiser. And we have 2 people we can direct them to help. That will be, it's something new, that we have at PWSA now. And I think it's been so needed as we've seen so many families and individuals want to host these events, more and more over the years. So it's awesome to see it growing.
Absolutely. I know that when she was the one who I met with when we were at the fly-in in DC. And I told her I wanted to do an event, but that I felt too overwhelmed to do it since I'd never done this before. And she's the one who walked me through the whole process. And it has been so seamless and like a real kind of like weight off my shoulders because it's something I've wanted to do, but I didn't know how to organize myself. And I had a lot of questions. And she kind of, held my hand and took me through the whole process. And now I'm really excited that I'm working with other families to do the same with them.
That's wonderful.
Katie or Pia, I wanted to know if either of you have like any ideas that you're bringing as far as fundraising, like something just really unique that you haven't seen done before that you're hoping to help, or if maybe we'll have to find that out later, but I'm just.
We are actually, Katie and I are working on a fundraising guide, kind of from soup to nuts, that is downloadable and that whoever is planning the event, sometimes it's siblings of a PWS child, sometimes it's parents, it can be grandparents. And so really this, in tandem with us working with them, they'll also have a guide to kind of figure out a lot of these different things that they might have questions on and get some feedback on. So that guide is going to be just wonderful. We're working on it right now. We're making great progress, but really detailed so people can really make decisions about what kind of event they think would be best for them, questions to think about, and a lot of resources like graphics, social media hashtags, kind of wording for letters and emails that they can do, templates for everything. So basically kind of making it, so we don't have to start from scratch for every event. So it'll be super easy for the parents.
Well, I'm glad you guys are both here.
Yeah, welcome, both of you. We're so excited to have you on our team.
Thank you. It's the best place ever. Everybody's so supportive and so many hardworking women. It's amazing.
Getting into volume 108 of the PWSA USA Pulse. This is from October 4th, so just last Friday. And this one was preparing for the holiday season. We have once again crossed the threshold of summer into autumn, ushering in another round of seemingly endless holidays and food-centered celebrations. Many families, especially families of older individuals living with PWS, may have well-established routines and adapted traditions to help get them through the season more smoothly. Other families may be facing the impending onslaught of candy-filled bags and fat-infused celebrations with trepidation and growing concern of how to navigate this food-centric season. So wherever you land on the spectrum of "we've got this" to "I'm freaking out," PWSA USA is here to offer resources and support to help you and your family not only survive these potentially treacherous holidays, but hopefully thrive and enjoy them as well. So in this pulse, we included a few past blogs, and we'll have links to those in the show notes. But these are blogs that have come out before, and they're just very helpful and full of advice. One is specifically for Halloween, and the other is celebrating Thanksgiving, and then one is kind of more Christmassy, New Year's, which seems like it can be a bit of ways away. But Carrie and I thought it would be good to share these with you all, just to get you thinking about some different ideas and things like that.
Yes, it's never too early to plan for the holidays and the potential unexpected things that come out of them. So this is always a good time to kind of read through and get refreshers on, these tips and tricks from our team and really help, you and your family enjoy the holiday season because everyone deserves to.
Absolutely. And so with that in mind, we have a link to that everybody can share their tips for holidays. So for whatever holiday that is coming up, if you have something that your family has been doing that works really well for your family, because again, of course, always what works for one family may not work for another family, but we get ideas from each other, and some ideas are really great and should be shared. And so if you have a way of navigating the holidays and all of the food and all of that has helped your family, we are asking people to share those with us and with the community. You'll find a link in the show notes to share that. And specifically, we are looking for audio for Halloween to put in an upcoming podcast. So if you have if you want to share your tip in an audio file or video file, just under 1 minute, just a little snippet of how you are going to navigate Halloween, there is a button to share that. We're hoping to get some different voices on the podcast. We just thought it'd be fun to hear these tips in the voices of the families.
Yes, we would love to spotlight some of these helpful, tricks that families themselves have come up with on their own. But that one specifically, I think in the show notes, we'll call that one share your Halloween tips and tricks. And then the catch-all kind of holiday tips is going to be hope for the holidays. So just to make that little distinction as you're looking up where to go.
All right. Thank you.
The Halloween tips and tricks, that one specifically is when we're looking for podcast audio from families. So that one, please, yes, as Annie mentioned, send in your audio files. You can do that through the voice memo app on your phone, or you can simply record yourself in kind of selfie mode on your phone and submit that to that form as well. But the hope for the holidays is typically more kind of written through the form. And that one we will accept, anything from great memories that you have all the way to, recipes that work for your family. And again, that hope for the holidays could encompass any holiday between now and the end of the year. So we're looking for it all.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely encourage recipes. I know that I get kind of bogged down and just doing the same stuff. So I'm always on the lookout for a good recipe, especially if it's PWS friendly.
Right.
So we also had a spotlight on hope. This is contributed by mom Sarah B. And she posted some really sweet, adorable pictures of her daughter Lily. And what she had to say is that Lily is a 3-year-old girl diagnosed with PWS at a few weeks old. As many parents can imagine, hearing our daughter's diagnosis the first time was devastating. She has shown that she is so much more than her diagnosis. She is a smart, caring, sassy, sweet little girl. She absolutely gives the best hugs. Lily has overcome so many obstacles and continues to prove how strong she is. She is our hero. So you can check our socials to see those sweet pictures. And we just want to put it out there for people. We want to celebrate your loved ones. So our Spotlight on Hope series strives to share and celebrate the successes of our loved ones, and no success is too small. So whether they took their first steps or had a great time at the school dance or made a shot in a basketball game or are working towards a goal, we want to celebrate it all. So please send us those stories. And again, you'll see a link for that in the show notes to share your Spotlight on Hope.
Moving on to some events and fundraisers going on. And as we, will continue to mention, our 2025 conference will be coming up on June 24th through 28th, 2025 in Phoenix, Arizona at the Arizona Grand Resort and Spa. We cannot wait for that. And the countdown just keeps ticking, Annie. It's it's wild to see that on the website. Just keep counting down.
Mm-hmm.
And the main thing we want to share this week, I know we've continued to mention the hotel rooms, but we are now at 70% capacity for our rooms for that week. So again, if you're planning to come to the conference, we encourage you to make those hotel reservations as soon as you can, and you'll find a link to do that in our show notes. And again, another plug just for everyone out there listening to please send in a photo for our PWS conference mural. It will be the main decor, I would say, at our conference, and it's going to be compiled of photos of all of our loved ones. That will be a great, photo op spot for people and just a great way to display and showcase all the incredible individuals that we love so much in the diversity of an international conference. So please share those. Again, you can find a link to that in our show notes. So moving on to a peer-to-peer fundraising event that happened recently, we really want to thank the Garcia family for hosting the inaugural RMC Foundation golf outing, to support PWSA USA. And that took place on Monday, September 30th, where Jen Garcia and her family hosted this great event at the Ritz-Carlton Members Only Club in Bradenton, Florida. So a nice kind of exclusive high-end space, which is very cool for those who were in attendance to experience that. It's a very well-known and respected club, so that was very incredible for them to get that space. And the proceeds from this event do benefit PWSA USA's advocacy program, something that Jen has a really soft spot in her heart for. And actually, Jen did give a very heartfelt speech about how the advocacy initiatives at PWSA USA have really benefited her family and herself as a mom. And we encourage you to watch that. We'll have a link in our show notes to view that as well. We wanted to share with you all a little excerpt from what Jen shared at the event. So she said, Rocco, who is her son, is my miracle, and I love him. I remind him daily that everyone in this room and in society has problems, but Rocco and his community are not afforded the luxury of privacy. We need to tell Rocco's story and everyone who has PWS to get them the help they need so we can adjust the system so they have access to resources they're entitled to. Pete and I thank all of you and the sponsors for being here and for your support. So a big thank you to Jen and her family and the sponsors and to all those who went out to support this great event.
It's a really beautiful, powerful quote. I just really appreciate her saying that.
Yeah, Jen
me.
is,
Got
gets
me.
you in your feels. Again, I encourage everyone to go watch the full video of her speech. I think it's about 5 or 6 minutes long, but it made me tear up. You know, she is just been so immersed, I think, too, in our advocacy efforts. And she actually spoke at our externally led patient-focused drug development meeting last summer and had just such a unique and real perspective to share. And she consistently does. So, you know, I always love hearing from Jen. Yeah, she's a great volunteer advocate on our team. So thanks again, Jen. All right, moving on to an upcoming fundraiser that we're very much looking forward to. I'm looking forward to it, especially because I get to go and I am just so excited. You have no idea. It is the Dance Silly for Prader-Willi event, which will be a fun family dance party for any families interested. This event will take place around Halloween. It's actually October 12th, which is a time for children with PWS that's a little bit tougher. So the family wants to raise awareness surrounding how we can include all individuals on how holidays don't need to be focused on food or candy, but instead on fun experiences and time together. This fun event will include a DJ, dancing, dressing up in your favorite costume, playing games, doing a craft, a kids basket for all families registered, kids raffles, adult raffles, dinner, snacks for all, and a memorable time with some of your favorite people. And this event is going to be taking place on Saturday, October 12th. The doors will open at 4:30 p.m. and it's taking place at the Trumbull Career and Technology Center, which is in Warren, Ohio. So anyone in the area, go to the link in our show notes. Please register to attend. It's going to be a great event. And anyone in surrounding states who can make the drive or who want to, come and support as well, please, everyone is welcome to attend. And I hope to see you there.
I love a dance party. I wish I was going to be there.
I think I'm going to go live on our Facebook page so that everyone can kind of get a look in to
and
the
dance
excitement.
at home.
And dance at home. Exactly.
Oh, so fun. I love it.
So yeah, I can't wait to be there and just be surrounded by our families. I think it'll be a great time. All right. One other event that's coming up that we wanted to give a special shout out to and recognition for, it is the New England Prader-Willi Conference. So the Prader-Willi Syndrome Association's New England chapter, together with sponsors Acadia and Latham Centers, is delighted to host Knowledge is Power, a conference created for PWS families and providers. The event will be held November 2nd, 2024 at the Hilton Garden Inn in Waltham, Massachusetts. So don't miss this convenient and empowering biannual PWS event. Whether it's getting updated on the latest therapies, networking with other parents of children with PWS, learning about everything from IEP goals to adult life, or meeting leading PWS professionals from around the country, knowledge is power. Space is limited, so we encourage you to register as soon as possible, and you can find the link in our show notes to register.
Okay, and moving on to advocacy, we have the Creating Hope Reauthorization Act goes to the Senate. So the Priority Review Voucher, the PRV program, has been a key driver for incentivizing drug development, particularly for rare pediatric diseases. This program allows companies that develop treatments for rare diseases to receive a priority review voucher, which can be used to expedite the FDA's review of a future drug application or sold to other companies. This PRV program has been instrumental in accelerating the development of treatments for diseases like PWS that disproportionately affect children and other vulnerable populations in the rare disease space where the financial risk is higher due to smaller patient populations. In September of 2024, the U.S. House of Representatives unanimously passed legislation to reauthorize the Rare Pediatric Disease PRV program through 2029. However, the U.S. Senate has not yet passed the needed legislation to reauthorize the PRV program. A bipartisan bill known as the Creating Hope Reauthorization Act was introduced by Senators Bob Casey of Pennsylvania and Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma. This legislation aims to extend the PRV program through September 30th, 2030, providing longer-term stability and encouraging investment in treatments for rare pediatric diseases. This bill has garnered broad support, including endorsements from organizations like the National Organization for Rare Disorders and the Every Life Foundation. The Senate's decision in the coming weeks will determine the future of this valuable initiative. So if you are interested in learning more or how you can help, please email advocacy@pwsausa.org.
Moving on to some news in family support, we have a new PWS in Adulthood blog series for the week, which is always very exciting. We love these. And the title of this one is The Many Factors of Independence. This PWS in Adulthood article was contributed by mom Lynn Williams. Her daughter Jess is 27 years old, living with Prader-Willi syndrome. And to just pull a little excerpt out of what she wrote in the article, she said, "The system of post-secondary education, in my opinion, was a great help in transitioning to life after school. However, once she left that educational program, it was difficult navigating the many day programs available and to ensure that it would be a good fit for my daughter due to food issues. We've gone through many day programs, and I feel that the community-based programs are the best in gaining a sense of independence in my daughter." So you can read Lynn's full contributed article at the link in our show notes. And again, this series, we want to continue it and hear all of, the great stories about individuals living with PWS who are adults. So if you're interested, please email us. You can email Annie, and we will have those emails again in our show notes as well. Something very exciting that's also happening in the family support world right now. We are officially accepting applications for our Operation Holiday Cheer, which returned to support PWS families during the holiday season. This is thanks to the incredible generosity of an anonymous donor. And this person has done this for many years now. And it's something that's kind of a staple, I would say, in our community at this point. So we're so excited to bring it back for 2024. So this heartwarming initiative helps spread joy to families in need by easing the financial burden of the holiday season. Through this program, a select number of families affected by Prader-Willi will receive gift cards to assist with holiday expenses, ensuring that they can focus more on celebrating with loved ones and less on financial stress. If your family could benefit from this support, we invite you to apply by completing our Operation Holiday Cheer application, and you can find a link to that in our show notes. Applications are due by Friday, November 8th. So don't miss this opportunity to bring a little extra cheer into your home this holiday season.
And thank you
Yeah,
again to that donor, because that's a really incredible gift for the community.
It really is. We are so appreciative to that individual for seeing, the need that our families have. And especially, again, the holidays, as we all know, and we've already mentioned in this episode, are a tough time for our families. So it's great to give them a little extra, like it said, cheer, in these tougher months. So thank you. Yes.
So the Ask Nurse Lynn this week was contributed by the parent of a 22-year-old female with an unknown subtype. And the question was, I'm concerned about gastroparesis. I give my daughter 1 stool softener a day. Okay with her doctor. She does not empty her stomach without picking at her bottom to stimulate. How do I address this issue? This is unfortunately a fairly common issue in people with PWS. So if you'd like to learn more about it, please check the link in our show notes. And always, if you have a question for Nurse Lynn, we are happy to send that to her and she will get a response out to you and we'll share it with you directly. And we will also share it with the community anonymously, of course, so that, other families who may be experiencing this issue or have these questions can have them addressed. And for this month, our family support webinar is Support PWS Research and Create Community. So this is for the Trend community. This will be Tuesday, October 29th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So please join us for an insightful and informative webinar to learn how you can help advance PWS research while also finding and building community support. PWS parents Maria Picconi and Chris DeFelice are excited to share how their personal journey with PWS led them to create the PWS Connect channel on Discord, a place where caregivers come together to share their journeys and experiences, questions, and advice to support each other and directly impact the progression of PWS research. So this webinar will explain the what, why, and how of Trend Community and the PWS Connect Discord group. And it will also include time for questions. So if you have any questions about what is this PWS Connect, what is Trend Community, what are we doing here, how do I get on, why do I want to be here, any of those questions, this webinar is for you. So please come and check it out. And we think you'll learn a lot about that. And of course, you can find the link to register in the show notes.
And Annie, I would say this is kind of a direct reaction to parents asking, these questions, on our social media pages, calling, sending emails. So we really wanted to be proactive in this and offer a space for the, Trend community team to come on and really be as transparent as possible about the process. And again, it's just something I think we've mentioned before, but it's so important for our community to be part of the PWS Connect Discord group so that we can, again, build a lot of information as far as research goes around our community's needs. And all the information that's there is, very private, and it's just pieces of it pulled, but it's all anonymously. And again, the Trend team will 100% give all of the actual clarification around that. And it's really just to ease parents' minds, but really pinpoint the reason why this is such an important thing for our community to be a part of. So please attend if you can.
Yes.
Moving on to our research section now, we have an update on the Phase 3 Compass PWS study from Acadia. So Acadia Pharmaceuticals recently released a letter updating our community on the latest news with their Phase 3 Compass PWS clinical trial. This trial is studying the effectiveness of intranasal carbetocin in individuals with PWS who suffer from hyperphagia. Their update includes current and pending sites, as well as letting the public know that participants who finish this 12-week trial will be eligible to enroll in that long-term open label extension study, again, meaning that they can get on the drug far, after their trial experience. But we encourage you to, learn more about this exciting Phase 3 Compass study at the link in our show notes to get more information and to see, if your loved one would be interested in participating. And then finally, for research, just another plug that we have a couple more upcoming ECHO for PWS webinars. Our next one is taking place on Thursday, October 24th at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. And that's with speaker Dr. Deepan Singh. And his topic will be on psychiatry and PWS just on Zoom. So it will be a virtual meeting. And then our second one coming up is on Monday, November 11th. That's at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And that one is with speaker Daniela Rubin, and her topic will be exercise physiology, also on Zoom. And just a reminder that these webinars are for healthcare professionals to attend, but we will have the recordings of them available on PWSA USA's YouTube channel following each presentation, and you can find a link to that YouTube playlist in our show notes.
And for our announcements this week, we just again want to extend a nice warm welcome to our new staff members, Pia Dorson and Katie Martinez, who we talked with at the beginning of this episode. And so if you'd like to check out their bios and see all the staff for PWSA, there will be a link to that in the show notes, but you just can get in there and see who all is working hard for this community and read their bios. And yeah, I thought it was a nice touch to bring them on and get to hear from them directly rather than just read their bio. So thank you, Carrie, for doing that.
Yeah.
And our last announcement is our PWSA USA Resource Spotlight. And this is just so you all know, in case you don't know, that we have a YouTube channel where we have over 370 videos. So this is a great place to find a plethora of resources and information on PWS. So from ECHO webinars that you were just talking about for professional care providers to family support webinars on a variety of topics. We have donor highlights, family interviews, messages from our dedicated staff, all kinds of stuff. And you can learn something new and valuable about PWS. So definitely, I think it's a incredible resource for this community. So we will make sure to link that in our show notes.
It really is. And I also just want to throw out that we have a lot of our past conference recordings on our YouTube channel as well. And that just comes with an incredible amount of professionals kind of in one space that you can just scroll through, find the topics that you're most interested in learning about. And all of the information is still pretty relevant. We have a lot from our last year's conference. So we encourage you, to just scroll through our YouTube channel and check it out. There's a lot of great information and great stories from families, as Annie mentioned. So
yeah, nice. And I think as far as the mission moment goes, I think I want to tie it back to Pia and Katie and just recognizing that we have an incredible staff of people who work, and a lot of us are parents, and those who aren't parents are just so dedicated to this community. And just give a big shout out to our PWSA staff, because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that, of course, I never knew about until I started working here. And just even on the weekends, checking the Zoom chat and seeing the conversations that are going on, the outreach that's happening, that if there's ever an issue or if there's, people have a question, like we go to the staff chat and like there's just a number of people there trying to work hard and reach families, reach doctors, get people the help they need,
questions, resolve issues, just all as a team. Like you said, it's going on daily, hourly.
Yep. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. So, and I think, Annie, you would probably say that this is accurate, but if not, let me know. But I would say for you, when you kind of first saw that and really realized it was at our staff retreat last year, when we were at the conference space and doing a lot of kind of preemptive work to the conference for 2025, but on our tours, of the spaces and during our meetings, staff were just still answering calls, emails, and it's a constant way that we are there for support. We will always be there on that other end of the line and on the other end of that email. Thank you for listening to this episode of PWS United. If you want to learn more about Prader-Willi syndrome and how PWSA USA is making strides in advocacy, family support, and research, visit www.pwsausa.org. And while you're there, we encourage you to sign up for our Pulse email newsletter to stay informed about the latest news, resources, and events. Don't forget to subscribe to the PWS United podcast so you never miss an episode. Our team is always available to support families and their loved ones living with PWS 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You can call us at 941-312-0400 or email info@pwsausa.org. Catch a new episode next Tuesday, and until then, have a great week.